Have you ever stopped and asked yourself why, despite having everything you thought you wanted, there's still a part of you that feels empty, restless, or unfulfilled? That quiet ache you feel in the middle of the night, the thoughts that whisper, there has to be more to life than this. Is your mind telling you something essential? Happiness doesn't come from outside. It doesn't live in achievements, possessions, or approval from others. True happiness starts within, in the small, quiet corners of your mind and heart where no one else can reach but you. If you keep looking outward for joy, you will always find it fleeting, temporary, like chasing shadows that disappear the moment you reach for them. But when you learn to turn inward, to understand your thoughts, your emotions, your patterns, everything changes. The reason you should stay with me is simple. What you're about to hear will teach you how to unlock a happiness that isn't dependent on luck, circumstance, or anyone else. It's a happiness you can cultivate intentionally, a life you can design from the inside out. Right now, the choices you make in your mind are shaping the quality of your life. Every thought you entertain, every belief you hold, every judgment you make about yourself and the world around you acts like invisible paint on the canvas of your experience. If you allow negativity, self-doubt, or comparison to dominate, your life will feel heavy, dimmed, and restricted. But when you begin to notice your thoughts, to consciously choose which ones to feed, you discover a power that feels almost magical, the power to create your own emotional climate. Imagine waking up each day with a sense of calm, confidence, and excitement that is completely yours, untouchable by circumstance, unshaken by other people's opinions. That is the reward of mastering your inner world. Happiness is not a passive state. It is an active practice, a skill you develop, just like learning an instrument or training your body. It requires attention, patience, and deliberate effort. Start by observing your mind without judgment, by asking yourself, is this thought serving me or is it holding me back? Begin to replace fear with curiosity, doubt with possibility, and scarcity with gratitude. Every time you do this, you are strengthening the foundation upon which your happiness will grow. You are choosing freedom, and freedom feels alive. Freedom feels powerful. Freedom allows you to stand taller in the face of uncertainty, to face challenges with courage, and to find joy in the ordinary moments that most people overlook. When you commit to cultivating your inner happiness, everything outside begins to align. Relationships deepen, your work feels more meaningful. Even the simple act of breathing becomes a source of joy. You will notice a shift in the way you carry yourself, in the way you interact with the world, in the way the world responds to you. And the most extraordinary part is this. This happiness is yours at any moment. You don't have to wait for the perfect job, the perfect relationship, or the perfect day. You can start right now with a single thought, a single choice, a single breath. The question is, will you let the noise of the world dictate your mood? Or will you claim the quiet power within you and make happiness a daily practice? The answer to that question is the doorway to everything you've ever wanted, and it begins with one simple truth. Happiness starts within. Have you noticed how much of your life is spent reacting to emotions you don't fully understand, allowing stress, frustration, and fear to dictate your choices? Most people drift through life as if their feelings are accidents, random flashes of pleasure or pain that happen to them. But the truth is, your emotions are signals, not obstacles. They are guiding you toward what matters, toward what your mind and body are asking for, if only you would listen. Imagine the clarity and calm that comes from truly understanding your emotional world, from recognizing when a feeling is trying to protect you, teach you, or redirect you. The power of emotional awareness is the key to breaking free from cycles of anxiety, self-doubt, and regret. The reason you should pay attention now is that mastering your emotions doesn't just improve your life, it transforms it, making every decision lighter, every relationship deeper, and every day richer. Your emotional health shapes your entire experience. When your mind is constantly flooded with worry or your heart is weighed down by unresolved tension, every small challenge feels monumental and every joy feels muted. But when you actively cultivate emotional intelligence, you begin to notice patterns. You see triggers coming before they take hold. You feel the early signs of frustration or sadness and respond with awareness instead of reaction. You begin to understand that you are not your emotions. You are the observer, the conscious presence capable of guiding them. This awareness is a muscle. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes until your ability to navigate life with calm and clarity becomes almost second nature. Begin by giving yourself permission to feel fully, without judgment. When a wave of anger, sadness, or fear arises, acknowledge it, name it, sit with it, understand its purpose. Science shows that people who face emotions directly, rather than suppressing them, experience greater happiness, reduced stress, and stronger resilience. It may feel uncomfortable at first, but discomfort is the doorway to growth. Every moment you confront an emotion rather than ignore it, you are reclaiming power over your mind and over your life. You are proving to yourself that no circumstance, no other person, and no fleeting thought can take away your inner stability unless you allow it. As you gain this emotional mastery, your relationships will transform. The ability to listen without judgment, to respond instead of react, to connect with empathy and patience creates bonds that go far deeper than surface level interaction. Your confidence grows because you trust yourself to handle whatever arises. Your focus sharpens because your mind is no longer scattered by unchecked feelings. Even your sense of purpose becomes clearer because you can now distinguish between impulses born of fear and choices born of intention. Every habit, every choice, every action you take will carry more power, more meaning, and more joy when your emotional health is prioritized. This is not a passive act, it is an investment, a commitment to yourself that pays dividends every single day. When you start noticing, understanding, and directing your emotions, you step into a life that feels lighter, freer, and more deeply satisfying. You begin to experience a happiness that no setback can erase, a peace that no chaos can shake, and a sense of control that no circumstance can take. The question you must answer is whether you will allow your emotions to control you, or whether you will take the reins and use them as the powerful guide they are meant to be. The choice to invest in your emotional health is the choice to live a life that is fully yours, rich with clarity, resilience, and enduring joy. Every thought, every moment, and every decision becomes more vibrant the moment you decide to truly understand and honor your emotional world. Have you ever felt the emptiness of being surrounded by people yet still feeling completely alone? That sense of disconnection, that quiet ache in your chest, is a signal your mind and heart are sending. Meaningful connection is not optional, it is essential. Human beings are wired to connect, to belong, to share life with others who see us, understand us, and accept us without conditions. Without these connections, life can feel hollow, no matter how much you achieve, how much you acquire, or how many goals you check off. But when you prioritize deep, authentic relationships, you unlock a source of happiness that no circumstance can take away. The reason to focus on this now is that your connections are a mirror of your inner world. Strong, meaningful relationships amplify joy, resilience, and purpose, while shallow or toxic connections drain energy, cloud your mind, and stifle your growth. Connection starts with presence. It begins with the willingness to show up fully, to listen deeply, and to give without expectation. Too often, we skim interactions, respond mechanically, or guard ourselves out of fear of rejection. But the moment you start to truly see people, to honor their stories and their struggles, you create an invisible bridge that transforms ordinary moments into something extraordinary. Science confirms what the heart already knows. People with strong social bonds experience lower stress levels, stronger immune systems, and higher overall life satisfaction. Every kind word, every act of empathy, every moment of active listening strengthens not only the bond with others, but also the bond you have with yourself. You must also recognize that meaningful connection requires courage. It asks you to be vulnerable, to risk judgment, and to confront discomfort. Vulnerability is not weakness. It is the ultimate form of strength, a willingness to show the real you and trust that the right people will hold that truth with care. When you embrace vulnerability, you stop living life in fragments, hiding behind facades and playing roles. You allow authenticity to flow into your relationships, creating trust and intimacy that cannot be manufactured. And when your relationships are grounded in authenticity, every interaction becomes a source of energy, inspiration, and support. Boundaries are just as important as openness. To nurture meaningful connections, you must know your limits, honor your needs, and communicate them clearly. Without boundaries, even the strongest relationships can become sources of stress and resentment. Respecting yourself teaches others to respect you, and it preserves the energy you need to invest in connections that truly matter. When your energy is aligned with intention, you naturally attract people who uplift, challenge, and inspire you. You stop wasting time on superficial ties and begin to build a network of genuine support that elevates every part of your life. Connection is also about giving without expectation. Acts of kindness, encouragement, and support create a ripple effect that returns to you in ways you often cannot predict. The brain releases dopamine and oxytocin when we help others, creating a natural sense of happiness and fulfillment. By investing in others, you invest in yourself, creating bonds that sustain you through challenges, amplify your joys, and remind you that life is not meant to be endured alone. The choice before you is clear. Will you remain isolated, going through life without the profound support and joy that comes from meaningful human connection? Or will you open your heart, take the risk, and create relationships that nourish, inspire, and sustain you? The answer you choose shapes not just your happiness, but your entire experience of life, turning ordinary days into deeply fulfilling ones and loneliness into a powerful reminder that when you connect authentically, you are never truly alone. Have you ever wondered why, even when life seems comfortable, there's a persistent sense of restlessness, as if something essential is missing? That restlessness is a signal from your soul, urging you to seek purpose. Purpose is not a lofty idea reserved for extraordinary people. It is the core of every fulfilled life. Without purpose, days blur together, achievements feel hollow, and even happiness slips through your fingers. But when you discover and embrace your purpose, every action, every decision, and every moment gains meaning. The reason this matters now is that purpose fuels motivation, resilience, and joy in a way nothing else can. It transforms ordinary existence into a life of intention where your energy is directed, your mind is focused, and your heart is engaged. Purpose begins with asking yourself the right questions. What excites you so deeply that time disappears when you engage with it? What contribution can only you make to the world, no one else? Your purpose is the intersection of your talents, your passions, and the needs around you. When you align your daily actions with this intersection, work stops feeling like a burden, challenges stop feeling like obstacles, and even failure becomes a stepping stone toward growth. Science shows that people with a clear sense of purpose experience better mental health, greater resilience, and longer lifespans. Your purpose is the invisible engine that powers every choice and action, creating momentum that carries you through life with energy, confidence, and fulfillment. Finding purpose requires courage. It asks you to look beyond convenience, to confront uncertainty, and to take responsibility for designing a life that reflects your deepest values. The world is full of distractions, noise, and expectations that pull you away from what truly matters. To live with purpose, you must silence the external chatter long enough to hear the quiet voice within, the one that knows what resonates, what inspires, and what makes your heart feel alive. This is not a passive reflection. It is an active practice of self-discovery, experimentation, and commitment. Purpose is magnified when paired with consistent action. Every small step you take toward your goals, every intentional choice, reinforces your connection to what matters most. Even when progress feels slow, the cumulative effect of consistent, purpose-driven effort transforms your life. It builds confidence, strengthens resilience, and creates a sense of accomplishment that no external reward can match. When your actions reflect your purpose, every challenge becomes meaningful, every success becomes fulfilling, and every moment is infused with significance. Purpose also deepens relationships and connection. When you live aligned with your values and intentions, you naturally attract people who resonate with your energy, who support and uplift you, and who challenge you to grow. You stop wasting time on superficial interactions and instead invest in connections that mirror your commitment to meaningful living. This alignment amplifies happiness, fulfillment, and influence, creating a life that feels intentional, impactful, and deeply rewarding. The question before you is not whether life will present challenges, because it always will. The question is whether you will allow yourself to live a life driven by purpose or drift through existence without direction, energy, or meaning. When you claim your purpose, every choice becomes a declaration of your power. Every action becomes a statement of your commitment. and every day becomes a step toward the life you were meant to live. Purpose transforms not just what you do, but who you are, unlocking a life rich with clarity, passion, and enduring happiness. Have you ever noticed how much power your thoughts have over the quality of your life, yet how rarely you truly take control of them? Every belief, every mental image, every internal conversation shapes the way you experience the world. Most people allow negative patterns, self-doubt, and fear to dominate without realizing the profound effect it has on their happiness. But the moment you recognize that your mindset is not fixed, that your thoughts are tools you can choose to shape, everything changes. The reason this matters now is that the way you think determines the way you feel, the way you act, and the results you achieve. A single shift in perspective can unlock energy, clarity, and courage you never thought possible. Your mindset is the lens through which you interpret every event, every challenge, and every interaction. When your lens is clouded by negativity or limitation, even opportunities feel daunting and every minor setback becomes unbearable. But when you intentionally cultivate a mindset of growth, possibility, and resilience, life opens up. You start to see challenges as stepping stones rather than obstacles, mistakes as lessons rather than failures, and uncertainty as a field of potential rather than a source of fear. Science shows that people with a growth-oriented mindset experience higher levels of satisfaction, motivation, and overall well-being. Your thoughts are not random. They are shaping your reality in ways you can control if only you decide to take charge. Begin by becoming aware of the patterns that dominate your mind. Notice when self-doubt arises, when fear whispers, or when you tell yourself you're not enough. Acknowledge these thoughts without judgment, then consciously replace them with perspectives that serve you. Gratitude, curiosity, optimism, and possibility are not empty words. They are psychological tools that rewire your brain, strengthen resilience, and elevate your emotional state. Each time you practice this, you are building the neurological pathways that support a more positive, empowered, and productive life. The power of mindset extends far beyond personal well-being. It shapes your relationships, your work, and your capacity to take risks. When you approach life with belief in your potential, others respond to your energy. You attract opportunities, people, and experiences that align with your elevated state of mind. Limiting beliefs, on the other hand, act like invisible chains, keeping you stuck in cycles of frustration, regret, and mediocrity. Choosing to master your mindset is choosing freedom, a freedom that allows you to pursue your purpose, connect deeply, and live with joy even in the face of uncertainty. Every day presents moments where your mindset can either lift you or weigh you down. Every interaction, every decision, and every challenge is an opportunity to strengthen the mental habits that shape your life. The choice is yours. Will you let automatic negative patterns run your mind, or will you become the conscious architect of your thoughts, designing a reality that supports your highest potential? When you take ownership of your mindset, you no longer wait for circumstances to dictate your happiness. You create it, you nurture it, you protect it, and in doing so, you step into a life where fear diminishes, confidence flourishes, and the path toward fulfillment becomes clear, purposeful, and unstoppable. Have you ever realized how much of your life is spent outside of the present, lost in memories of what has already happened or anxieties about what might come? The mind's a way of stealing your attention, dragging you into regrets or fears that exist only in imagination. And in doing so, it robs you of the one thing that truly matters, this moment. Living fully in the present is not a philosophical idea. It is a practical, scientifically proven path to deeper happiness, clarity, and peace. The reason this matters now is that the present is the only place where life actually happens. Every thought you let pull you away from it is a missed opportunity to experience joy, connection, and growth. Being present starts with awareness. Notice your surroundings, the sensations in your body, the rhythm of your breath. Stop letting the autopilot of routine dictate your days. When you slow down, when you anchor yourself in this moment, you discover that life is rich with small, often overlooked wonders. The warmth of sunlight on your skin, the subtle expressions on a loved one's face, the simple satisfaction of a deep breath. Science shows that mindfulness practices reduce stress, improve focus, and boost emotional regulation. The ability to fully inhabit your moments rewires your brain for calm, resilience, and appreciation. Presence is also a shield against the toxicity of overthinking. When you dwell on past mistakes or future worries, your mind becomes a battlefield of what ifs, draining energy and undermining confidence. By bringing your attention to the here and now, you interrupt these destructive cycles and reclaim your power. You recognize that the only reality you can influence is the one unfolding right in front of you. And this recognition ignites a sense of control, agency, and freedom. Every decision, every action, every thought becomes more potent when rooted in awareness rather than distraction. To live in the present is to embrace intentional focus. Multitasking, constant scrolling, and endless planning fragment your attention and dull your experiences. By deliberately directing your focus to one moment at a time, one task at a time, you increase efficiency, creativity, and satisfaction. Your brain is naturally designed to thrive when fully engaged. And when you practice presence, the mundane becomes extraordinary, the ordinary becomes meaningful, and life gains a depth that cannot be experienced when living in fragments. Presence also amplifies your relationships. When you are fully attentive to another person, free from internal chatter and judgment, connection deepens. You hear not just words, but emotions, intentions, and truths that are often missed. You create space for authentic interaction, empathy, and mutual understanding, and these moments ripple outward, creating bonds that are resilient, nurturing, and profoundly satisfying. The choice before you is simple but profound. Continue drifting through life in distraction, or anchor yourself in the present, in the only place where happiness, growth, and meaning exist. By embracing this moment, by noticing, feeling, and acting consciously, you unlock clarity, joy, and inner peace that no circumstance can take away. Presence is not a practice you do once. It is a commitment you renew every moment, and each renewal brings you closer to a life of fulfillment, freedom, and unstoppable happiness. The power of now is the gateway to everything you desire, and it begins the moment you choose to inhabit it fully. Have you ever stopped to notice how rarely we truly appreciate the life we already have? How easily we take the ordinary for granted while chasing after something better, something bigger? Gratitude is not just a polite habit or a fleeting feeling. It is a transformative practice that rewires your brain, elevates your mood, and reshapes the way you experience every moment. When you actively cultivate gratitude, you train your mind to focus on abundance rather than scarcity, to see opportunity rather than limitation, to feel contentment even amid challenges. The reason this is so powerful is that gratitude does not wait for life to be perfect. It creates perfection in the way you perceive it, turning what might feel like ordinary days into extraordinary experiences filled with wonder, connection, and joy. Gratitude begins with awareness. Notice the small things, the warmth of the sun, the breath that fills your lungs, the presence of someone who cares for you. These simple moments, when recognized, are far more impactful than any grand achievement or material gain. Science has shown that daily gratitude practices significantly increase happiness, lower stress levels, and even improve physical health. Every time you consciously acknowledge what is good in your life, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin, the chemicals that fuel a sense of well-being and contentment. It is a simple, intentional action with profound consequences. True gratitude goes beyond surface-level acknowledgement. It is not a fleeting thought or a quick thank you. It is an active engagement with life, a deliberate noticing of what nourishes your body, mind, and soul. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is missing to what is present, from what is frustrating to what is fulfilling. Each day becomes a series of moments to appreciate. Each interaction becomes richer, and each challenge becomes an opportunity to discover hidden gifts. This perspective doesn't deny difficulty. It transforms your response to it, creating resilience, patience, and inner peace. Gratitude also strengthens relationships. Expressing appreciation deepens bonds, fosters trust, and builds a cycle of generosity and kindness. The simple act of noticing and acknowledging the contributions of others creates emotional resonance that elevates both your life and theirs. People are naturally drawn to those who operate from appreciation rather than entitlement, and this energy multiplies, creating a life filled with meaningful connection, love, and mutual support. The practice of gratitude is not passive. It is a daily intentional habit that requires discipline, reflection, and sincerity. Start small, a moment of thanks in the morning, a written note acknowledging what you value, or simply a mental pause to appreciate the ordinary wonders around you. Each act reinforces a neural pattern of positivity and abundance, slowly transforming your perception of life itself. The question you face is whether you will continue moving through life on autopilot, overlooking the countless blessings surrounding you, or whether you will consciously cultivate gratitude, allowing it to guide your thoughts, emotions, and actions. By committing to gratitude, you unlock a deeper sense of happiness, an unshakable sense of contentment, and a perspective that illuminates even the most challenging circumstances. Every day becomes richer, every connection deeper, and every breath more meaningful. Gratitude is the bridge between simply existing and truly thriving, and the moment you begin practicing it, your life begins to transform from the inside out. Have you noticed how much energy you waste holding on to anger, resentment, or grudges? How much of your life is quietly drained by the weight of negative thoughts? Every moment you carry bitterness or blame, your mind and body are trapped in tension, your focus is scattered, and your capacity for joy diminishes. Letting go of negativity is not about excusing wrongs or pretending pain doesn't exist. It is about reclaiming your power, clearing space in your heart and mind, and freeing yourself to live fully. The reason this matters now is simple. The longer you cling to what harms you, the further you drift from the life you were meant to live. Releasing negativity opens the door to peace, clarity, and happiness that cannot be taken from you by circumstance or by anyone else. Holding on to resentment is a subtle thief of energy. It steals your attention, clouds your judgment, and keeps you tethered to moments that no longer serve you. Your body responds too. Stress hormones rise, sleep is disrupted, and your health quietly suffers. Science confirms what ancient wisdom has long taught. Forgiveness and letting go are not favors for others, they are gifts you give to yourself. When you release what no longer serves you, your mind becomes lighter, your emotions become clearer, and your energy can finally flow toward growth, love, and purpose. Letting go requires courage. It asks you to confront discomfort rather than numb it, to face reality without clinging to blame or anger. It does not happen instantly, and it is not linear, but each small step toward release is a victory. Begin by noticing where you are holding tension, identifying the thoughts and feelings that replay in your mind like a broken record. Acknowledge them, accept that they were real and painful, and then choose to release their hold over your present. Each time you do this, you reclaim a piece of your inner freedom and strengthen your capacity for resilience. Forgiveness is a powerful tool, but letting go goes beyond forgiving others. It includes forgiving yourself. Mistakes, regrets, and self-criticism are chains that hold you back from living with clarity and purpose. By embracing self-compassion, you dissolve the negative stories you tell yourself, and in that space, courage, confidence, and happiness naturally grow. Every moment spent in resentment or guilt is a moment stolen from joy, creativity, and fulfillment. Choosing to let go is choosing life, vitality, and freedom over heaviness, limitation, and stagnation. Negativity can only control you if you give it permission. By consciously releasing it, you shift the balance of your life toward growth, clarity, and abundance. You create mental and emotional space for gratitude, love, and purpose to flourish. Challenges that once seemed overwhelming lose their power over you because your mind is no longer entangled in old pain or blame. You respond instead of react, you act instead of resist, and you move forward with focus, energy, and determination. The choice before you is stark. Continue carrying burdens that belong in the past, or claim the freedom that comes from release. Letting go is not weakness, it is strength, mastery, and courage in its purest form. Every act of release is a declaration that your happiness is yours to protect, your energy is yours to steward, and your life is yours to live without the weight of what no longer serves you. By letting go, you step into a life of clarity, purpose, and unstoppable inner peace. A life where negativity no longer dictates your path, and where every breath feels lighter, freer, and full of possibility. Have you ever realized how closely your body and mind are connected? How every choice you make for your health ripples into every corner of your life? Energy, focus, confidence, and even happiness are all fueled by the state of your body. Neglected, and every challenge feels heavier, every decision more exhausting, and every opportunity harder to seize. But when you commit to your physical well-being, the results are immediate and lasting. Sharper clarity, stronger resilience, and a sense of vitality that propels every aspect of your life forward. The reason this is crucial now is that health is not just about avoiding illness. It is the foundation on which your entire life experience is built. Without it, every goal, every dream, every relationship is compromised. Taking care of your body begins with recognizing that small, consistent actions accumulate into monumental change. Movement, even in modest amounts, strengthens the body, clears the mind, and releases chemicals that enhance mood, focus, and motivation. Nutrition is equally powerful. What you consume directly influences your energy levels, cognitive function, and emotional stability. Sleep, often overlooked, is the ultimate restorative practice. It consolidates learning, repairs the body, and recharges the mind for another day of intentional action. Each choice you make for your health is a vote for your future self, a deliberate step toward a life full of strength, clarity, and joy. Health is also deeply intertwined with emotional and mental well-being. The more you care for your body, the more your mind can operate at peak capacity. Fatigue, poor nutrition, and inactivity amplify stress, diminish focus, and make challenges seem insurmountable. Conversely, when you prioritize your physical well-being, your thoughts become sharper, your moods more stable, and your emotional resilience stronger. Science confirms that regular exercise reduces anxiety and depression, improves cognitive performance, and even enhances social connection. Taking care of your body is not a vanity exercise. It is a fundamental strategy for living a happy, empowered, and productive life. Consistency is the key. You do not need to overhaul everything at once. Small, intentional habits, choosing water over sugar, taking a short walk daily, prioritizing sleep, compound over time into profound transformation. Each conscious decision reinforces your control over your body, mind, and life. By respecting your physical health, you honor the vessel that carries you through every experience, every challenge, and every opportunity. Your body becomes not just a tool, but an ally, empowering you to fully inhabit your life and pursue your purpose without limitation. Health also amplifies confidence and courage. When you feel strong, energized, and capable, fear diminishes. You are more willing to step into challenges, to take risks, and to push toward goals that once felt out of reach. Every physical habit that strengthens you also strengthens your mindset, your emotional resilience, and your ability to act decisively. Neglecting your body, on the other hand, silently erodes your capacity to live fully, making obstacles appear larger, fatigue more oppressive, and life less vibrant. The choice is yours. Will you continue to let your body become a limitation, or will you claim it as the foundation of everything you want to achieve? Investing in your health is not optional. It is essential. Every intentional movement, every nourishing meal, every moment of rest builds a life of energy, clarity, and unstoppable momentum. When you care for your body, you care for your mind, your spirit, and your potential. Health is not a side note. It is the engine that drives every success, every joy, and every lasting moment of fulfillment. Have you ever noticed that? The greatest growth in life rarely comes from comfort, but from the moments that push you beyond what you think you can handle. Challenges, obstacles, and discomfort are not enemies. They are the very tools that shape resilience, courage, and character. Every time you step into difficulty, instead of avoiding it, you strengthen your mind, your spirit, and your ability to thrive. The reason this matters now is that life will always present challenges, but your response to them determines the quality of your experience. Embracing challenges turns fear into fuel, struggle into mastery, and resistance into opportunity for profound transformation. The first step is shifting perspective. Instead of seeing challenges as setbacks or punishments, see them as signals that growth is happening, that your comfort zone is being expanded. Science shows that people who perceive obstacles as opportunities for learning develop greater resilience, higher achievement, and deeper satisfaction than those who see them as threats. Every difficult moment is a chance to train your mind, refine your skills, and strengthen your emotional endurance. The way you interpret these moments directly shapes your results, your confidence, and your sense of purpose. Courage is born in the face of discomfort. Every time you confront a fear, take responsibility for a difficult situation, or step forward despite uncertainty, you are training yourself to respond with strength instead of retreating into avoidance. Challenges force clarity. They strip away distractions, reveal priorities, and illuminate what truly matters. Each obstacle you face and overcome becomes a building block for the person you are becoming, a testament to your capacity for determination, focus, and inner power. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a critical part of the process. When you embrace challenges, you inevitably encounter setbacks. But every setback contains a lesson. Every failure contains insight. And every mistake contains an opportunity for refinement. The people who thrive are not those who never fail, but those who use each failure as fuel to propel themselves forward, who view difficulty as feedback rather than final judgment. Challenges are not punishments, they are accelerators, giving you the chance to develop skills, insight, and courage that comfort can never teach. Resilience is cultivated through repetition. The more challenges you face and the more you lean into discomfort rather than fleeing it, the stronger your ability to navigate uncertainty becomes. You begin to trust yourself, to recognize your own inner resources, and to realize that no external circumstance can truly defeat you. Your confidence grows not because life becomes easier, but because you become stronger, wiser, and more capable. Every obstacle overcome is a declaration. You are capable, you are powerful, and you are unstoppable. The choice before you is not whether challenges will come. They always will. The choice is how you respond. Will you shrink away, avoiding discomfort at the cost of growth? Or will you embrace challenges as the catalyst that accelerate your transformation, strengthen your mind, and elevate your life? Every challenge you face, every fear you confront, and every discomfort you endure is a step toward mastery, courage, and the happiness that comes from knowing you are fully alive, fully engaged, and fully in control of the life you are creating. Have you ever realized how much clutter, complexity, and overcommitment weigh on your mind, silently draining your energy, your focus, and your joy? Life becomes overwhelming when you carry too much, when every day is filled with noise, distractions, and endless demands. Simplifying your life is not about doing less for the sake of it. It is about reclaiming space, clarity, and energy for what truly matters. The reason this is so critical is that a simpler life allows your mind to focus, your heart to feel fully, and your spirit to thrive. Every choice you make to remove what is unnecessary creates room for growth, connection, and fulfillment that was previously buried under chaos. Simplifying begins with awareness. Notice where your attention is scattered, where obligations drain you without meaningful return, and where possessions or habits consume more energy than they contribute. Science confirms that reducing clutter, both physical and mental, improves focus, reduces stress, and enhances decision-making. Every unnecessary possession or unaligned commitment acts like a weight, holding you back from clarity and peace. By consciously removing what does not serve you, you create a life that feels lighter, more intentional, and more aligned with your values. Prioritization is at the heart of simplicity. Every task, every relationship, every responsibility should be measured against what truly matters. Saying no is not selfish, it is an act of self-respect and strategic alignment. By removing the excess, you focus your energy on what drives purpose, joy, and growth. The brain thrives on clarity, and when your environment and schedule are organized, your mind can operate at peak performance. Complexity may feel important, but simplicity delivers power, freedom, and presence. Simplicity also strengthens emotional resilience. When life is cluttered and chaotic, even small stressors feel overwhelming. By streamlining your commitments and focusing on essentials, you reduce unnecessary stress, increase mental clarity, and create room for gratitude, reflection, and intentional action. Your ability to respond rather than react improves. Your focus sharpens, and your capacity to enjoy meaningful experiences expands exponentially. Intentional living is the ultimate expression of simplicity. Every choice you make should reflect your values, your goals, and your vision for the life you want. By intentionally designing your days, your environment, and your routines, you eliminate distraction and foster a sense of mastery over your own life. Each deliberate action reinforces control, confidence, and alignment, creating a life that feels purposeful, satisfying, and full of potential. The power of simplification extends beyond productivity. It transforms your inner world. Clarity of space leads to clarity of mind. Less mental clutter means more room for reflection, creativity, and connection. It allows you to be present, to notice what is beautiful, and to act with intention rather than being pulled by circumstance. Simplifying your life is not an occasional act. It is a daily practice, a mindset that prioritizes depth over breadth, quality over quantity, and alignment over convenience. The choice is yours. Continue carrying the invisible weight of unnecessary complexity, letting it erode your focus, energy, and happiness, or commit to simplicity, reclaiming space for what truly matters. Every action you take to remove clutter, to focus on essentials, and to live intentionally amplifies your ability to experience joy, purpose, and freedom. Simplicity is not the absence of life. It is the presence of clarity, meaning, and unstoppable momentum toward a life that feels fully yours. Have you ever stopped to consider the company you keep and how it shapes the person you are becoming? Every thought, every habit, and every belief you hold is influenced by the people around you. Energy is contagious, and the environment you immerse yourself in has a profound effect on your mindset, your motivation, and your potential. Choosing your circle wisely is not optional, it is essential. The people you surround yourself with can either lift you toward greatness or hold you back, subtly dictating what you believe is possible and what you accept as normal. Your relationships are mirrors reflecting your own values and ambitions. If the majority of voices around you are doubtful, negative, or stagnant, it is easy to internalize limitations and accept mediocrity. But when you surround yourself with individuals who inspire, challenge, and elevate you, something extraordinary happens. Their energy fuels your courage, their beliefs expand your vision, and their example ignites your desire to achieve more than you ever thought possible. Science confirms that high-performing individuals consistently align themselves with mentors, peers, and communities that reinforce their goals and push them toward growth. Boundaries are a key part of this process. Protecting your time, energy, and emotional space is not an act of isolation. It is an act of self-respect. Saying no to people, habits, or situations that drain your energy is the most powerful investment you can make in your own growth. The clarity and focus you gain allow you to invest deeply in the relationships that matter, the pursuits that matter, and the life that is waiting for you when distraction and negativity are removed. Influence works in both directions. Just as the people around you impact you, your presence affects others. By aligning yourself with positivity, ambition, and authenticity, you not only lift yourself, but also inspire those around you to rise. This reciprocal energy creates a network of growth, support, and shared purpose that amplifies your success, strengthens your resilience, and cultivates a life of meaning and fulfillment. Evaluate your environment continuously. Are your daily interactions empowering or depleting? Are your conversations uplifting or focused on complaints and excuses? The answers reveal where changes are needed. Real transformation requires deliberate action, letting go of relationships that no longer serve your evolution, and actively seeking connections that challenge and motivate you. This process is not easy, but every intentional choice to refine your circle multiplies your capacity to thrive. Gratitude and empathy enhance these connections. While choosing wisely is crucial, cultivating appreciation and understanding within your relationships creates deeper bonds and mutual growth. Surrounding yourself with strong, supportive, and inspiring people does not mean ignoring their humanity. It means choosing energy, influence, and alignment that elevates your life while also contributing positively to theirs. Your life will reflect the energy of those closest to you. By consciously curating your inner circle, you step into a reality where possibility, courage, and abundance are not just ideas, they become daily experiences. Every person you let in, every influence you accept, and every boundary you set shapes the trajectory of your life. Surround yourself with greatness, and you will be compelled to rise to it, achieving a clarity, confidence, and joy that transforms every day into an opportunity to live fully, intentionally, and powerfully. Have you ever considered how your thoughts shape your reality every single day? Every fear, every doubt, every limiting belief you carry silently dictates what you see as possible and what you allow yourself to pursue. Your mind is not just a passive observer. It is the architect of your life. The internal dialogue you maintain, the stories you tell yourself, And the expectations you set determine whether you rise to your potential or remain trapped in cycles of frustration and regret. Choosing to master your mind is not optional. It is a necessity if you want to experience true happiness and fulfillment. Your thoughts are powerful because they trigger emotions, and emotions drive actions. When you consistently focus on scarcity, fear, or failure, your brain interprets it as a reality that must be defended against. You begin to make choices that align with limitations, often unconsciously. But when you consciously cultivate empowering, growth-oriented thoughts, your brain starts to recognize opportunities instead of obstacles. The science of neuroplasticity proves that repeated, intentional thought patterns reshape the brain, rewiring it to notice solutions, create confidence, and sustain motivation. Every moment you catch a negative thought and redirect it toward possibility, you are literally shaping the neural pathways that dictate your future. This is not about blind optimism or ignoring challenges. It is about deliberate focus. It is about asking yourself, what truth about my abilities, my resilience, and my potential can I amplify right now? When you answer that question daily, your mind becomes your ally rather than your saboteur. You stop giving energy to what drains you and start building momentum toward what elevates you. Thoughts of self-doubt and worry begin to lose their grip, replaced by clarity, determination, and an unshakable belief in your ability to navigate life's storms. Every thought you nurture acts as a seed. If you plant fear, anxiety, and comparison, the harvest will be tension, frustration, and stagnation. If you plant courage, focus, and gratitude, the harvest becomes growth, confidence, and joy. You are the gardener of your own life. Attention, focus, and repetition are your tools. Choosing where to direct them is not trivial. It is transformative. Your mental environment dictates your emotional state, your behaviors, and ultimately, the quality of your life. Awareness is the first step. Catch your mind wandering into doubt, jealousy, or negativity. Pause, observe, and intentionally redirect. Speak to yourself with the same encouragement, respect, and kindness you would offer someone you love deeply. This daily discipline, though subtle at first, accumulates immense power over time. Your beliefs expand, your fears diminish, and your confidence solidifies. Thought mastery is not just about your internal world. It directly influences how you experience the external world. When your mind is clear, focused, and positive, your energy changes. Your interactions improve. Opportunities that once seemed impossible now appear achievable. Life begins to respond to the frequency of your thoughts, rewarding clarity, persistence, and intentionality. The greatest gift you can give yourself is the commitment to guard your mind fiercely, to cultivate thoughts that inspire action, and to embrace the responsibility of shaping your mental landscape. Every thought you nurture, every belief you strengthen, and every perspective you shift builds a foundation for a life filled with purpose, resilience, and happiness. Your mind is not just a tool, it is the engine of your transformation, and how you choose to use it determines the depth of your success, joy, and freedom. Have you ever paused to realize how much of your life is spent reacting to what others think, say, or do? Every judgment, every expectation, every whispered opinion from the world around you can quietly shape your decisions if you allow it. And most people do. They hand over their power piece by piece to approval, validation, and comparison, and wonder why fulfillment always feels just out of reach. True happiness, the kind that sustains you through challenges and ignites your potential, is not found in the applause of others. It is cultivated in the unwavering commitment to your own values, your own vision, and your own standards. Living under the weight of others' expectations is exhausting because it is built on a foundation that was never yours to begin with. You begin to measure success by external markers, titles, possessions, social media validation, and lose touch with what truly matters to your soul. The psychology is clear. People who define themselves by external approval experience higher stress, lower self-esteem, and less satisfaction in life. But those who anchor themselves in self-trust, self-respect, and intrinsic purpose tap into a source of happiness that is unshakable. Their energy is their own, not borrowed from the fleeting opinions of the world. This does not mean isolating yourself from feedback or the wisdom of others. It means filtering, discerning, and choosing which voices shape your inner world. Ask yourself, whose perspective truly aligns with my growth? whose criticism carries truth, and whose is just noise. When you begin to separate constructive guidance from distraction, you reclaim your focus. You reclaim your power. The clarity that emerges allows you to pursue goals that resonate deeply rather than chasing illusions designed to impress. Every moment spent seeking approval is a moment stolen from self-mastery. Every action driven by comparison is a step away from authenticity. When you shift your focus inward, the world around you begins to change. You move with purpose rather than reaction. Your energy attracts opportunities that align with your values, not with someone else's standard. The people who matter are drawn to your authenticity. The tasks that matter are aligned with your vision. Your life becomes a reflection of your choices, not a reflection of others' expectations. The courage to live unapologetically as yourself is not a one-time act. It is a daily practice. Each decision to honor your own instincts, to voice your truth, and to reject conformity strengthens your internal compass. Your confidence grows, your resilience deepens, and your happiness becomes less dependent on fleeting circumstances. The internal freedom you cultivate transforms every area of your life. Relationships, work, health, and personal growth. You no longer exist to meet the world's standards. You exist to fulfill your own potential. The reward is profound. Self-alignment frees you from the exhausting cycle of seeking permission to live fully. You awaken to the understanding that your worth is inherent. Your voice matters, and your choices have the power to shape a life that feels meaningful and vibrant. External validation may come and go, but the satisfaction of living in alignment with your own truth is permanent. When you consistently choose yourself over others' expectations, you step into a space of freedom few ever experience. You claim the right to design your life intentionally, to pursue joy without guilt, and to define success on your own terms. This is where true happiness begins, not as a distant dream, but as a daily reality that grows stronger with every conscious decision, every boundary set, and every act of self-respect. Your life becomes yours, and in that ownership lies the power to create a future filled with purpose, peace, and unshakable fulfillment.